Hello and welcome to the Father and Son Formula One podcast. This week we are talking about the Barcelona Grand Prix. Have you got the proper name of it up there, Toby?
Yes. It's just Formula One MSC Cruises Gran Premio de Barcelona Catalunya 2026.
That's catchy. I'm Graham Miller, the father in the title, and that was Toby.
Yep, hello.
The Barcelona Grand Prix, it was race 7 of the season, so I feel like we're starting to kind of settle in and get a bit of a picture of where everybody is.
Yeah, although it was also quite a big kind of upset almost.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm not just saying this. I did have a feeling going into this that it's not going to be a Mercedes win.
They've not historically been amazing at Barcelona, although when Lewis was there they were. But
yeah, but also it's kind of like, I suppose it's a kind of tipping point. If Mercedes won here, then we would probably be looking at, a 2023 type season, but with Mercedes in the prime position.
Yeah.
Another team might win one race if they're lucky type. What else were there? It was 1988, wasn't there?
I think yeah. Those are the two kind of standards. I mean, 2016 as well.
Yeah, and there's a few like Schumacher and Vettel, absolute dominance as well.
Yeah.
Can you remember what? Oh, didn't we have? I think this was the first time we had a whole load of rookies in FP1, wasn't it?
I think you are right, because
I think Hamilton sat out.
Yes, in favour of Dino Beganovic, who's quite an exciting. He's kind of like the heir to Behrman's spot.
Oh, okay.
Which is the heir to the next Ferrari drive. So I assume when Behrman moves up to Ferrari, probably when Lewis retires in a couple of years or next year or something, then Beganovic will fill in at Haas as the Ferrari Junior on the grid.
Right.
Or Cadillac.
I mean, the reason I know that is because once again it triggered the irritating clickbait.
Yeah.
Where Hamilton replaced at Ferrari.
Yeah. For one session.
Which is actually in the rules that it has to happen, so.
And I think with all the development and early stuff, they wanted to get as much experience on the new regs in the first 6 races.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And Barcelona's an F2 track, is quite well known.
Yeah, no, I mean...
So, it's a good choice.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they definitely wanted to get their drivers bedded in. Who's that?
Leonardo Fornaroli for McLaren, in place of Lando. Paul Aron, in place of Hulkenberg in Audi, coming 6th, actually, is pretty good.
Actually, Aaron's been around a lot, hasn't he?
He is one of those names.
He's picked up a lot of these FP1 practice slots.
He's quite experienced.
Wouldn't surprise me if he was doing sim work or reserve driver and stuff like that. I feel like
he might be Mercedes affiliated.
But Audi are running their own engine though, aren't they?
Yes. I know he's reserved for Alpine. Although Alpine didn't run anyone? No, they had both Colapinto and Gasly.
I think those were the only 3, weren't they? Oh no, who's that down there?
We've got Iwasa at RB, and then also Fred Vesti at Mercedes, and then Colton Herta at Cadillac. He's a very good IndyCar driver.
Yeah.
I think actually he's said publicly he wants to be in Formula 1. And now he's actually doing Formula 2 to try and accrue the super license points.
Yeah, I have seen reports that people who go from F1 to IndyCar find it easy. And people who try and go from IndyCar to F1 kind of struggle a bit.
I don't know, because Grosjean did IndyCar.
Yeah.
I don't think he won any races or anything.
He didn't win any races in F1 either.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like if Grosjean had gone to IndyCar and dominated, because Grosjean was always a bit of a midfielder. You could be a bit it's easy. But since Grosjean was kind of also a midfielder in IndyCar, it seems like they're broadly comparable.
Yeah, I don't think there's a massive difference.
But yeah, he's test driver for Cadillac and he's doing F2, Colton Herta.
Yeah. So who lost their FP1? Hamilton, Norris?
Perez, Russell? No, Antonelli.
Yeah.
And then... that's actually Red Bull, not Racing Bulls. So that was Hadjar.
Yeah, I saw Verstappen top the timing sheets. I mean, I don't think it was a terribly exciting FP sessions.
I don't think I saw any of them. What have I done? Okay. I don't think I saw any of them. But Russell, then Norris and Piastri, and then this trackpad is annoying me a little bit. Hamilton down in 9th in FP2.
Yeah, but that's his FP1 really. To be honest, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty kind of. Well, you can never actually draw any conclusions, can you? That's the thing.
No. Well, I mean, we'll come on to that because Hamilton was out in FP1 for the rules, and he got 9th and 5th.
And then, kind of out of nowhere.
Well, let's go. I mean, I think Q1 and Q2 were fairly straightforward in terms of who dropped out and who didn't, weren't they?
Yeah.
I'm looking it up on. I'll have to say, actually, me and Toby were actually in the same room at once, and he's stolen my desk.
Yeah.
So I'm looking up stuff on my phone.
And I'm trying to use my laptop's trackpad instead of a proper mouse, and it's not going great. So, absolute bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
Alonso, then Stroll.
Yeah, first time in 42 races that Stroll's out-qualified Alonso.
Yeah, but it's only for P21, so it's a bit... I don't think he's over the moon about it necessarily.
And he's still a second off Bottas in a Cadillac.
It is kind of unbelievable that Cadillac have just completely overtaken Aston Martin already.
Yeah, it was weird because it was like, oh my god, we've got Aston Martin, we've got Saudi oil money, we've got Adrian Newey,
yeah,
we've got Fernando Alonso. It should be.
Well, I think they've got a bunch of upgrades coming in at some point around the summer break. Like all of their upgrades.
Yeah.
Pretty much a new car, so I guess we will see then.
It has to be said, Ferrari did turn up with massive front-end aero upgrades.
Yeah, like 10 of them.
But front-end aero is very interesting because it affects the airflow over the whole car.
Yeah.
So it kind of, if it's going through easier and speeding the air up, it affects the side pods and the floor and the rear wing and just makes everything better.
Yes.
So we lost 2 Astons.
2 Cadillacs.
Oh yeah, Albon went out.
Albon and Ocon. Pretty kind of par of the course for Williams and Haas, unfortunately.
I think Williams have been doing better than that, but they've got an 18th and a...
Not really. The last, 2 or 3 races. They tend to have better race pace than quali pace anyway. They try and claw back, an okay result here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, where is... Yeah, Albon came 8th in Monaco and 10th. And Sainz has done okay.
I mean, Sainz always is good at extracting more than is possible from the car. I mean, even he could only struggle it into 16th.
Yeah. And he was a long way off in Q2, actually. I don't know what happened. He might have just given up.
Yeah.
And then Ocon in the Haas as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gasly.
Mm-hmm.
Gasly won his appeal.
Yeah, that was big in between episodes news.
Yeah, in between episodes, Gasly's appeal, they actually... Apparently people saw Alpine, I nearly said Renault, engineers walking along the pit lane with a measuring wheel.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they proved that...
He hadn't speeded, technically.
Well, no, and also his onboard telemetry will show that he never...
He never actually went above the speed limit.
No.
Even he cut the corners.
Although I read somewhere that he found a route that was 77 metres shorter, and I think that must be a misprint.
Yeah, I don't know. It can't be 77 metres, surely.
No, I mean, that's like 3/4 of a running track. Well, it's either 7.7 or even 77 centimetres.
Yeah.
Because it's down to fractions of a percent. They were mostly 60.1 kph.
Which again, I was saying, is that even within the tolerance of the timing beams?
But it's Formula 1, so yes.
Yeah, it could be actually, because they go to
a thousandth of a second.
I think they technically time it to more than that.
God.
But
yeah, did you hear the interview that Piastri gave?
No, what did Piastri say?
He said, well, where does that leave us? Because we followed the same line. We had exactly the same error, and if my error is undone, then I should be on the podium.
But he served his penalty in the pits.
Yeah.
Which is a bit more muddy, because Pierre didn't.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it really is a kind of complicated... But then, where do you put Russell? Because Russell legitimately failed to serve a stop-go.
But that stop-go shouldn't have been...
Failed to serve at 5 seconds, so he got a stop-go.
But should he have even had that thing? But then he did do the drive-through for failing to serve the illegitimate penalty.
Yeah,
but they can't really take that back.
I mean, Piastri's right. It's an absolute minefield of how on earth do you unpick this?
It is, yeah. I think actually McLaren and Mercedes appealed against Pierre's podium. They didn't even open their own appeals. They just appealed against that decision, but they lost, or they withdrew it.
Well, yeah, because you can't say, "I wish I'd done that," so he can't be allowed to do it.
But again, it is. Are we going to see if a team believes that they shouldn't serve a penalty? Are they just going to keep them out and then deal with it afterwards because they know they might be able to get?
Well, no, because if they need to take a pit stop, then they're going to be in the same position that Russell is.
Yeah.
And they're going to go and do their pit stop and not serve the penalty.
Well, what if it's in the second half of a race?
If it's in the second half,
they might say, well, we're not going to come in and serve it on a pit stop.
But then they'll get done for failing to serve a penalty and get a drive-through. And then they'll probably get sanctioned for not taking the drive-through within 3 laps.
It is complicated.
I mean, I think Piastri's right. It have opened up.
It's a weird precedent for them to set.
Can of worms.
I mean, it's kind of unfortunate as well because it is... The FIA didn't actually, apart from the initial timing errors, do anything wrong. Because they said, this is the time frame for submitting an appeal.
Yeah.
Alpine did. The FIA were wrong and they admitted it, so they reversed it. Because it was a post-race penalty.
But on the other hand, you say they didn't do anything wrong. All the way from, I think, FP1 onwards, they were getting warned for pit lane speeding infringements.
Yeah.
And they went to the race director and the stewards and said, "Why is this happening? Can you look at it?" And they just shrugged and went, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
So
that is the main issue, is that they should really rethink that.
And I mean, I was thinking about this. The pit lane speed limiter is embedded in the computers of the thing.
Yeah.
So they could have actually said during the race, we will only punish people who go more than half a kph over the pit lane speed limit as we measure it. Because there's no way they could reprogram it to go to 60.5 in the race.
Maybe, yeah.
No, I mean, they couldn't do that. You press the button, you go to 60, you're the same as everybody else. There's nobody rewriting the software while they're going around Monaco.
They probably, I don't know. Wasn't there conspiracies that they would, during pit stops with Schumacher's Benetton, they were beaming traction control software onto the car and then
that was Hungary.
Deleting it?
Actually, yeah, I remember that. That was a race in Hungary where he had something like a controversial 3 or 4 stop strategy.
Yeah.
And he did one stint of qualifying laps over and over again. I think it must have been Benetton, because I think it was about the time they were struggling with the advances in car electronics and car control.
Yeah.
And at the time, because I'm old, they were rumours whispered that maybe they'd installed software on his car, because you could have the software installed but not use it. And then they'd fired an infrared from the back of the garage on one pit stop which had enabled it.
Yeah.
And then he did those blistering laps, and then they came out and they pressed another button and it deleted the software so it could pass scrutineering.
Yeah.
But weirdly, I've seen stuff about it recently where they're just oh, this is one of the proofs that Schumacher was a driving god. Look at these incredible laps he did in Hungary.
Yeah.
And all the controversy seems to have just gone. So.
Well, yeah. But anyway, the point is, they did mess up the timing beam stuff quite badly.
Yeah. And they did have warning as well that...
Well, they kind of knew it was going to happen.
Mm.
They should have known that during the race, the drivers trying to gain as much as they could, something like that was bound to happen.
And certainly, in the first 10 laps when 4 or 5 came in...
Yeah.
There must have been... So anyway, hopefully they'll... I mean, like you say, it's weird. They've got, systems that can measure probably better than 1,000th of a second.
But they can't. Yeah, they just messed up the basic kind of physics.
And also I was wondering about this. If they do distance over time, how do they actually measure that? Because all the cars all the teams have a different pit box that they go into.
Yeah.
So they must have a beam in front of every pit box.
I think so, that they can start the timer from or end it if they come
Yeah.
in.
It just seems like a really odd...
It's a really odd way of doing it, but I'm not sure how else.
Well, we've got Gatzos and speed cameras in the real world. Just have one sticking itself down the pit lane.
Just like a radar gun, like a hyper-accurate one.
Yeah. When the rest of us who drive have to put up with a speed camera, why can't they?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Gasly was only in 14th after all the controversy.
Yeah, 13th for Colapinto.
Yep.
Both Audis got through to Q2, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And both racing.
in 12th.
Hulkenberg got it through to Q3. I think the first time an Audi has done all year.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds about right, doesn't it?
And Lindblad up into 11th. I think that was unbelievably close for Lindblad into 11th.
Let's have a look at some times. 8:40. I've got Hulkenberg at 7:68, which would be less than a 10th.
Yeah. And then
Q3.
highlighting we said this last time. If Charles Leclerc is trying different brake discs and pads.
Uh-huh.
No? Yeah, you can change the discs and pads, but the calipers have to be Brembo.
Yeah.
We'd have literally 6 days and no testing to...
Maybe that's why they got Hamilton to give up his car for Bogdanovic instead of Leclerc.
Yeah. But
he crashed in Q3.
It's one of those weird crashes as well.
Well, it wasn't the brakes, I don't think. He just kept his foot in for too long.
Oh, yeah.
And, swapped ends on him.
I saw, actually, both of them, him and Hamilton, said afterwards that going into turn 4, Hamilton had been braking unbelievably late and carrying the speed in. And Hamilton said, yeah, I'm sure Charles tried to do that and messed it up.
Maybe he did brake late and thought, let's see what these CI brakes can actually do.
And the thing is that the CI brakes allow you to do trail braking.
Yeah.
Which is where they bite.
And then you lift off a bit.
They bite really hard and then you lift off so you're actually still braking through the corner.
Maybe Leclerc's not quite used to that.
No.
Whereas Hamilton obviously is, because he's been driving for 100 years.
Yeah. And then, literally, out of nowhere, struggling all through FP... Well, actually, through FP2 and 3 and Q1 and Q2, Hamilton was struggling.
Yeah, he wasn't really up there with the rest of them.
Sort of standard Ferrari, 5th, 6th, 7th.
Yeah, I was expecting him to be about their 3rd or 4th rows.
And suddenly he split the two Mercedes.
Yeah.
And importantly for Russell's state of mind and championship aspirations, start at the beginning. Russell got pole.
Yeah, from Antonelli,
and then Hamilton popped it into second.
And actually, it's over a 3/10 gap to Antonelli. That's a properly vintage Russell lap, in all fairness. I don't know if Antonelli made a mistake or something.
No, I think...
Because Norris was only 3/1000ths of a second.
Yeah, which again, from the McLarens, I think...
Actually, I'm having a look at this.
Yeah.
Antonelli, let's call it 15 dead.
Yeah.
Piastri, not even a 10th off 15 dead. Down in 7th. So 3rd to 7th is actually less than a 10th of a second.
Yeah.
That's pretty ridiculously tight. I think Piastri was having a bit of an off day overall, to be honest.
Yeah. I think if they can get the McLaren to finish a race, it's a very strong car. But,
it wasn't quite as strong this race, I don't think, but it has been pretty good.
Verstappen and Hadjar in 5th and 6th.
Also, Isaac Hadjar, 5,000ths off Verstappen?
500ths.
500ths off Verstappen. It's kind of perfect, really, isn't it?
He's literally doing what they've needed a wingman to do probably for the last 4 years.
It's weird, isn't it, that while Red Bull was under the control of Christian Horner, they just mowed through second drivers like it was nobody's business. And now, as soon as it's Laura Mekis, Hadjar's actually doing a fair bit better. It seems like he's more comfortable.
So I always assumed it was Verstappen who was just mentally destroying his co-drivers, but...
I don't think he is, though. I don't think he plays mind games or anything.
No, he is very much a pure racer.
I think he wants the team to do well as he does.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a bit of the, like, get out of the way for Perez, and he says, I'll never do that, and we know why.
Well, which we now know that he's actually established since his karting days. He's never giving up a place that he's won.
Yeah. And also there's a bit, I think people were thinking that Perez crashed at Monaco deliberately to screw Verstappen earlier that year.
Yeah. No, I think it is literally he's never done team orders. If he's won a place on the track, he's keeping that place on the track. I think Jos said that to him actually when he was a kid.
Mm.
So I think it is a real
kind of fair enough. I mean, it's not an unusual stance for a racing driver to have.
I mean, it's very pure racing, very arrogant.
Yeah, he's Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
He kind of can afford to be almost.
Is it that arrogant if you are that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. The top 7, who are the kind of big 4 teams with Leclerc out, were 3/10 across the whole lot.
And most of that
3.5 tenths.
Most of that gap was actually Russell back to Antonelli.
Yeah, the top 3.
Hamilton was sort of, almost equidistant between the two of them, and then a very tight cluster behind Antonelli down to Lawson, who was a second and a half off Piastri.
That's ridiculous.
It is Formula 1.5 again, sadly, because of the new regulations.
And Lawson, Hulkenberg, Leclerc.
Yep.
Also, the new regs.
Yes.
They measured the horsepower of all the engine packages out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they allocate what are called engine development tokens. So if your engine is down on horsepower by a certain amount, you get 1, and if it's really down, you get 2.
Yeah, it's called ADUO.
Obviously, nice and catchy.
Or ADUO, it's something.
But the weird thing is, and Max is spitting feathers about this,
additional development and upgrade opportunities.
That's catchy. Red Bull won. They've got the most horsepower coming out of their engine.
Yeah, which is actually quite a surprise, I'd say. It's the Red Bull Ford powertrain.
Yeah, which then means that Mercedes get at least 1 upgrade token.
I think Merc have got 1 upgrade token. Ferrari have 2, which is, given what we've seen actually recently, a little bit frightening for the rest of the grid.
Well, but it's also fair enough, because when they're high power, long straight circuits, they are struggling.
That's true, actually, because they've got a tiny little turbo to get off the start.
And the other thing is, it's not old Formula 1. It's not, this internal combustion engine is down on horsepower. It's the whole package of deployment and recharge and batteries.
I think ADUO might actually just be limited to the ICE. If we look at this, when a power manufacturer's ICE is 2% or more behind the best performing engine in the performance index, ADUO is granted. If it is at least 2 but less than 4% down, they get 1 additional token. And then if they're more than 4% down, you get 2 upgrades in this season, 2 in the next season. Whereas if you're between 2 and 4, you get 1 this season and 1 next season. So I think Audi and Honda get 2 this year, 2 next year, because they're way off.
So that does also kind of imply that Mercedes are winning from aero, packaging and electronics.
Yes.
Oh, not electronics, you know what I mean, battery.
Well, the MG UK power is considered, but engine speed, input shaft torque, and they say it's not representative of full power unit performance, given that the ERS also plays a crucial role. So I think they've got better battery and deployment tech, but the Ford ICE is actually more powerful overall.
Yeah. It's very odd. I mean,
and the Ferraris is less powerful.
There's a large part of me which is kind of like, the whole point of Formula 1 is to develop a better package than your...
Well, that's kind of in some ways what they're saying. They're giving them the opportunity to develop.
Yeah, and I suppose it does actually come back to there being a cost cap as well.
Yeah, they're trying to close the vicious runaway cycle of just... We've got the fastest engine, we win loads of races, we get more money, we build an even better engine.
Yeah, the kind of dominance.
It's not quite balance of power or balance of performance, which is a hypercar thing where they literally put weights in the car if they're faster. after winning races to make sure it's more even.
Yeah, is that Le Mans and the endurance car?
It's a bit...
I know, I've heard.
I think because Ferrari won the last 2 Le Mans before this one, and then they were absolutely nowhere during this one.
Oh, weirdly, your brother went out to Le Mans.
Yes.
But the weird thing is, he didn't... I mean, yes, he watched the hypercars, but I don't think he knew the names of any of the racers who were there, or... And I mean, I can kind of see
I would
that.
have done.
You would have done, but we've been to Le Mans a couple of years ago, and
It's quite a sort of abstract thing that's sort of happening in the background.
I mean, it's kind of like going to a rock festival not knowing any of the bands or the headliners or their songs,
or even really watching any of the concerts. You kind of go and stand around for like half an hour at one band, and then you just go back to the tent and chill.
But also, I mean, it's the environment. It's like at a rock concert. You're with like-minded people. You know, there's stands.
There's cool cars everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh god, the cars we saw in the car park. That Bentley.
Yeah.
And then, let's just... Oh, do you remember, completely off topic, when it was sort of like 10 p.m, and we realised that the cars were nowhere near as loud as they had been, all around us, because we were camped in the middle of the circuit. And then we checked the live feed, and there was a safety car.
Yeah, and also you could hear, because there was a safety car, they were bunched up, so you'd hear them rumbling past.
And then it was quiet for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It was quite weird, but awesome. I want to go to more races.
I think next time we've got to do a Formula 1 in person.
Yes. Do a podcast during the race. It's absolutely impossible to hear what's going on. Anyway, the race itself.
Yep.
I think it was not a very interesting race for the first third.
Well, see, what was interesting was that Hamilton went super aggressive.
He went onto the soft tyres.
To start. And everybody thought, oh, Ferrari's fast starting, he's on softs, he's just going to launch into the lead. But actually, the last few races, other teams have tightened up their launch procedure. So
they've not got anywhere near the same launch off the line that they used to, which is kind of a shame because it was a bit of a laugh.
But yeah, it was kind of grid order for the first bit.
Which is actually, I don't think that's happened this season. Apart from, maybe I think Monaco was the first time that the pole sitter led lap 1.
Yeah, we had a few retirements. Now, what was interesting was it became obvious because he was on softs and because of the pit stop schedule that Hamilton was going for a 3-stop race.
Yeah, and George actually said that on the radio. He said Hamilton's going for 3.
But weirdly, Mercedes pitted Russell to cover Hamilton.
When Hamilton pitted?
Yeah. So Hamilton pitted early because he was going on to an aggressive 3-stop strategy.
He pitted?
Oh, you didn't know. You would do if your laptop worked.
Oh, it works. There we go. He actually was the first pit stop on lap 11.
Yeah.
And then Russell was literally the next lap, and then Verstappen as well.
Which was kind of genius by Ferrari in a way, because I think it kind of... I mean, he didn't obviously fool Russell, but he kind of put them all on their back foot.
There was actually a bit where I think Antonelli had almost undercut Russell as well.
Yeah.
I was sort of thinking if Antonelli actually won because Mercedes ignored Russell about Hamilton, it would have been such a massive firestorm.
It would have been civil war in the Mercedes pit.
Because they would have definitely... The sort of like accusations that they're favouring Antonelli a bit would have been substantiated.
Yeah. But I think that kind of wrecked the Mercedes race a bit. Because obviously pitting on lap 12 for a 2-stop race then means that you've got to really kind of nurse your tyres along for the middle stint. Yeah, he's right down here. His second pit stop was lap 36.
Who, Hamilton?
No, Russell.
Yeah. But that middle stint where Hamilton was on the mediums...
Yeah, from lap 11 to lap 27.
Hamilton on the mediums was kind of unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wasn't there? There's like graphics where it says in the right corner, Hamilton, am I catching them? And then at the bottom it says lap by lap, minus 2.7, minus 2.01.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, he's gaining something like 2 to 2.5 seconds a lap on the leaders, and like the car in front who would have been like Verstappen or something.
Which, you know, even given the long pit lane at Barcelona, means that you've got like 10 laps to recover your pit stop.
Which he basically did.
Yeah.
I mean, he was actually coming up behind them.
What's really interesting is the changes that he has wrought, because he said he's got a new race engineer, Carlo Santi.
Who I think was actually Raikkonen's engineer back when he was at Ferrari, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and in theory he's a temporary engineer, but I'll be surprised if they let him go.
I think they've said that he's actually permanent now.
Yeah, because Hamilton came on the radio and said, "What lap times do I need?" And given how awful Ferrari's pit wall was, without hardly a heartbeat, Santi came back and said 22.9.
And then he said, "You're pushing now, we can catch them, come on." It was like positive reinforcement, which I think Hamilton does need a bit of.
Yeah, but it's kind of positive reinforcement, but also it was Hamilton asked a straightforward question. It was none of this, "We'll get back to you," or ignoring him. It was just, "What number? This number.
And
keep going, you
It,
push."
yeah.
And it was just exactly what, like you say, it was what Hamilton needs.
Yes, and he has wrought those changes at Ferrari. He's kind of shifted the immovable object almost.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never quite sure when we should tell people the result of the race, because I presume everybody's kind of watched it if they're listening to this.
Well, I'd like to go through the race as it happened.
Yeah.
There was that ridiculous stint. I've got the highlights on my phone, because if I play videos on the laptop while I'm recording, it messes it up a bit.
Yeah.
Hadjar had a bit of a rough start.
Yeah, he got absolutely bogged, didn't he? I think he
again,
had wheel spin.
Must be kind of a kick in the teeth for them to win the Aduo thing, given that their engine seems to struggle on the start so much.
It didn't struggle. He just had wheel spin. He dropped the hammer too fast.
Yeah.
So
lap 21, Hamilton is already past... Wait, he didn't do that on the hards, did he? He went on the hards and was like 3 seconds a lap faster than anyone. There's Hadjar getting past the Racing Bulls. He had a decent recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, lap 18. I think Russell's pitted there to cover him.
Yeah.
But Hamilton he actually stayed ahead of Antonelli. He's on the hards. He's got the fastest lap. And you can kind of... There was a moment where I think Russell and Antonelli were fighting out front because Hamilton pitted for the third time and they'd only pitted twice.
Yep.
And you could see Norris in the background, and then Norris pitted, and then you started seeing Hamilton just creeping, like on the straight camera.
Yeah.
He just started creeping more and more.
I think Toto actually came on the radio at one point and told them, "You're losing too much time fighting, you need to build a gap."
Hamilton is coming.
Yeah, but I think it was actually Toto saying, "Look, I don't mind you two fighting, but at the moment you're opening a door."
Oh god, he passed Piastri like he was a different class.
Yeah, it really was.
Oh yeah, this shot, there's Antonelli and Russell
Fighting as they always do.
and then like somewhat in the background you would see Norris, and then you'd see Hamilton behind him, but he just got closer and closer. It was after his second pit stop, the medium stint, I think, is the one where he was clawing back unbelievable amounts of time. Because he was on fresh mediums compared to the slightly older hards that they were on.
You see, again, that's kind of bravery from Ferrari. And the kind of strategy that's obviously thought out from Friday morning onwards to kind of keep the right sets of fresh tyres available. You know, the free practice strategies, the qualifying strategies, to make sure you have enough tyres left to pull off a trick like that.
So then he gets past them on lap 38, which is when the Mercs pit for the second time.
Yeah.
He's pitted twice. He's got one more pit stop, does Hamilton.
Yeah.
But that's when all hell kind of breaks loose.
Yeah, because Alonso has to park it, doesn't he?
So already by this point we've lost Stroll, Bottas, Hulkenberg and Albon. I think Stroll and Bottas were just routine mechanicals.
Yeah.
But did you hear about Hulkenberg?
Yeah, a piece of gravel flew into a side pod and hit a fire control switch and switched his engine off.
Yeah. Which is almost like it's something you'd see in a cartoon.
Well, you would, but cartoons aren't that technical.
I think it came from Lawson's car.
Yeah, I think Lawson went off track.
And Lawson apologised to him. But obviously, there's nothing anybody could do about that. It's just
Lawson's precision driving to aim the gravel.
Lawson used unheard of trick to ruin Hulkenberg's race. But it's kind of unbelievably bad luck for Hulkenberg.
Yeah. So yeah, Alonso parked it up with a mechanical. And then...
Is, as people have pointed out, is actually kind of ironic in a way that it was Alonso. Because then there was a VSC. Hamilton's in front by 16 seconds at this point.
Yeah. He actually missed the first lap on the VSC to pit.
And then he pitted again afterwards.
On the second lap of VSC.
And
which, of course, was a cheap pit stop.
It was only like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Well,
came out in front of Russell. And then the VSC ended immediately. Which is kind of the sort of thing that was happening to Hamilton in like 2019. When he was just ridiculously lucky.
Well, yeah, but then, I mean, I think afterwards, even Toto Wolff admitted that with the pace that Lewis Hamilton found...
Yeah, he would have won anyway.
He would have won even if he come out behind, I think, Norris. I think he was plotted to come out behind Norris.
But I think he was so fast, and he'd have had fresher tyres.
Yeah.
And he was basically the fastest driver on track all weekend, all race anyway.
Yeah, all race. I mean, like we said, until qualifying 3, it was a fairly standard Ferrari weekend. It was like 5th to 7th, probably.
Yeah, and it looked like it would be a Russell versus Antonelli, and there was a bit of it. But Hamilton just came out of nowhere. Although he did get that second place in Monaco.
And in Canada.
Was that actually a string of podiums?
Yeah, he's had second, first. Because he won this race. And as if he wanted to prove that it wasn't a VSC fluke, he then pulled out a 20-second gap.
Which, again, does prove it. Where's Hamilton?
Which...
No, he had no podiums with Ferrari last year.
Yep.
He came... Oh, he did have a string of 3 podiums in the middle of 2024 when he won the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And then he came 3rd in Hungary, which is one of his favourite tracks. And then he won in Belgium because Russell's car was underway.
Yeah.
So that's the last time he's had 3 podiums in a row. The second, first probably hasn't happened for him since 2021.
I think he had a string of firsts in 2021.
Well, yeah, I mean, both of them won like 10 races each.
But
yeah, it's probably his best string of races since then, I would say.
Pitting under a VSC saves you 12 seconds.
Well, it costs... Say, versus a regular pit stop?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You lose about 10 seconds under VSC and about 22 under a regular pit stop.
That's a long pit lane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can take 8 seconds off that 20, 12 off that 20, which means he would have still been 8 in front. And I mean, 8 seconds is more than enough to overtake. Well, I say Norris, Russell and Antonelli, but Antonelli actually had a mechanical fault, didn't he?
Yeah, and I said last podcast, because Norris had 2 mechanical DNFs in a row.
Mm.
And I think I mentioned like all the DNSs at the start of the season for McLaren.
Yeah.
That Mercedes is quite a fragile engine, I think.
I did actually see a graphic that up until Barcelona, Antonelli was the only Mercedes-powered driver on the grid to not suffer a mechanical problem.
And that is no longer true.
No. I mean, both McLarens have had a DNS.
In the same race.
Yeah.
Norris has only actually finished 5 races this year.
Out of 7.
No, 4 out of 7.
What about Piastri?
5. 5, but yeah.
Who else is Mercedes powered?
Well, both Mercedes is, and they've both had 1 DNF. Yeah. Aston Martin, they're Honda now, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think it's just Alpine.
And
Gasly's had a DNF. Colapinto, I don't think has.
Well, maybe. But I think there were...
McLaren's obviously, yeah.
I think there were other issues as well.
The number of Mercedes PUs that have given up in the last 7 races is quite spectacular.
And as we've said before, come to the back end of this season, they're going to run out of tokens and spare parts, and I'm sure we're going to see some races where a Mercedes engine car picks up I'm going to say more than 25 grid place drop. That's my prediction.
They might choose a race where they're not likely to win, like Mexico or something, and just bin it off. That did used to happen quite a lot.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to see that again. That's my prediction.
And again, if either Russell or Antonelli miss out on the win or some position by less than 10 points, for example, they might look back at those DNFs and go, what if?
Oh, you can always do. I mean,
yeah, you can always
Max
do that.
is rather crude, but absolutely spot on.
Oh, yeah. There's another version, which was that if my grandmother had wheels, she'd have been a bike.
Yeah.
That's a slightly more PG version.
Yes. I mean, you can always... But there again, if they've made the engine more reliable, would they have won as many races? Because it would be slower? It's...
Tough balance. But I did say last time that Antonelli... Firstly of all, I said Antonelli's sort of luck must run out at some point. And then also, I think we were saying, when's Hamilton going to win his first race for Ferrari?
Yeah, I mean, 2 second places in a row.
I wasn't really expecting it to be the next race.
But, I mean, everything kind of came together.
Yeah, Hamilton's insane pace.
Having a race engineer who he trusts.
And also Ferrari...
Solid strategy.
Yeah, actually, Ferrari masterclass of strategy. But not, sarcastically.
No, and what astonished me was it's Hamilton's 106th win. It's his 7th win at Barcelona.
Yeah.
He's broke so many records, but you actually saw him come to a stop. And, okay, I mean, he had his helmet and his gloves, but he actually didn't get straight out of the car.
No.
And then he got out of the car, and then he just went over to the weighing scales and just kind of crouched there for a bit, getting his head together.
Yeah.
And he's normally really composed and really...
But it is his first win.
In red.
There's very few drivers who have won for 3 different constructors. I wonder if there's...
So while you're looking it up, I'm going to run through some of the ridiculous statistics.
That's what I'm trying to do as well.
First time since he's the oldest... Jack Brabham was the last driver who was older than him to win a race.
Yeah.
It's the first time since 1968 we had an all-British podium, because we had Hamilton, Russell, Norris.
I've been asking for an all-British podium for ages, if you remember.
Well, 50...
Pretty much since Russell got promoted to Mercedes.
Nearly 60 years, I think.
Yeah, but since Russell got promoted to Mercedes, I was like, it could actually happen.
Yeah.
It did.
Also, this is an interesting random one.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 teams that Hamilton has won races for were represented on the podium.
I know, it was McLaren, then Mercedes, then Ferrari, actually, in order.
Yeah.
A bit spooky, almost.
Reverse order, yeah. It's the longest gap between first and last race win at over 19 years.
Most Formula 1 careers aren't that long.
No. Yeah, there's just so many ridiculous...
Very few drivers have won with 3 constructors. I'm trying to see if there was a list, but all I've got is most with different constructors, and that's 5 for Stirling Moss.
But yeah, there's just so many records, and obviously...
But he's now, if we go to youngest winners, oldest winners, he is, or was, the 8th youngest winner ever, and the 7th oldest winner ever.
And you kind of feel this won't be his last win of his career now.
I reckon he could sneak past Sam Hanks and maybe Jack Brabham.
I see, you have to be careful with the records from the 60s, because a lot of them are IndyCar.
Yes,
where the Indy 500.
Sam Hanks is an Indy. He was an IndyCar driver.
I kind of feel they don't count because they didn't do whole seasons.
There's even a little note. But according to the rules at the time, the Indianapolis 500 was a Formula 1 race.
Yeah, it's kind of questionable.
Although
anyway,
they could have chosen not to include it in the World Championship, I suppose. It would have made everything a bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even mention Leclerc.
Oh, yeah, he broke down? Blew up?
I think he broke down. I mean, that was what was weird. Antonelli went on lap 61. Leclerc went on lap 62.
It's literally at the same time. It was like,
I think they were
if you're
both
an
mechanical
Italian,
failures.
If you're an Italian fan, it's a bit devastating, really, isn't it?
While you're looking that up, what actually happened? There was a lot of there was a lot of negative press last year from the Italians.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lewis was presenting page documents to the technical team saying this is what needs to change.
Yeah.
And I think the reason he came to Ferrari in 2025 was because he had Fred Vasseur's backing.
Yes.
And I've now found out, I can't remember all their names, he had technical meetings with Fred Vasseur, the head of car design, Paul Elkin, who's chairman of Ferrari,
yeah,
and I can't remember his name, apologies, the CEO of Ferrari.
His surname might be Ferrari.
I don't think he is a Ferrari. No. But, I mean, those 4 people sitting down and having a technical meeting with them, and I think it was a risk.
I think also, it's the kind of thing only Lewis Hamilton could really do.
Yeah.
You could mean Benedetto Vigna.
Probably.
There's also Piero Ferrari, who's the vice chairman.
Yeah.
The only living son of Enzo Ferrari.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was a big risk. I think he got grief from the Italian sports press because they have a very, like France and Italy and to an extent Germany, have a very vocal sports press.
Yeah, especially France and Italy.
Yeah.
I mean, Ferrari is like a religion to the Italians.
But I think what's happened here is he's changed his race engineer, he's changed his brakes, he's changed the culture because now their strategy calls are bold, they're daring, they're decisive.
They're saying, we're doing a 3-stop strategy, and they do it.
Yeah.
Whereas then Mercedes were on the sort of reactionary, or do we cover
on the back foot, yeah.
As opposed to old Ferrari might have just left him out for a while and gone, let's see what Antonelli does.
Yeah, but also, like last year, we had things like, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, where they were just deciding.
And like, when you're driving a car at nearly 200 miles an hour, and corners are coming up every 3 or 4 seconds.
But again, what pace do I need to do? 20.9.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
Yeah, just there's the information you need.
And when he came out of the pits, instantly Santi was like, you are in front. Push now, push.
Didn't quite say hammer time, but...
No, that's Bono's sort of trademark, isn't it?
Well, he did describe him as an Italian Bono.
Which is kind of the highest compliment he could possibly receive.
Yeah.
Given how much Lewis loved Bono.
Yeah, and it is. Also, as well as all those changes, which he's now been vindicated, he's obviously now going to go back to Ferrari and say, well, would you listen now? He still stands by what he said, because last year he was saying, oh, I'm useless and Ferrari need another driver. But then, and this is classic Lewis Hamilton, he switched off all his social media over the winter.
Yeah.
He listened to no criticism or anything, and he kind of said to himself, if I'm asking the team to change this much, I will change.
Yeah.
And he had radio silence. He said he's never worked as hard on the physical side of it as he ever has over this winter, 25 to 26.
Yeah.
So when he came back at the beginning of 26, he was in absolutely peak physical condition.
Yeah.
He had his head straight because he hadn't been listening to people like us and, reading stupid clickbait and...
Italian press, basically.
Italian press. Well, not just Italian press. I've seen loads of,
Yeah, all sorts. Well, they all love that sort of stuff.
And he gets clicks. He sells.
Yeah. And also, during the race, they mentioned that towards the end, Antonelli's neck was going. They put it out on the onboard, going around a left or a right-hand corner. Antonelli was, resting on the side of the car.
Yeah.
His head was, moving over. And they also said they checked Hamilton's, and his was rock solid in the middle.
Yeah, so he's kind of...
Which is, I think that might just be youth. But also, like you said, Hamilton properly...
Yeah,
dialing in the physical, he's probably got a neck that big.
Yeah, I mean, if he's asking the team to commit, he's committed. Which actually, if you think about it, that makes him a very big threat.
I mean, happy, motivated Lewis Hamilton in a car that's going to get massive engine upgrades and already has aero upgrades.
Yeah.
If I was everybody else on the grid, I'd be quaking in my boots.
Yeah, well, they know what he's capable of, that's the problem.
Well, more than that, he's actually changed Ferrari to suit him, which is actually a Michael Schumacher level achievement.
Yeah, I mean, Alonso and Vettel failed.
Yeah.
Ultimately to kind of change the system.
Also, there is a clip. It's multiple part kind of story.
Yeah.
But there's this fan was filming Lewis Hamilton who was signing t-shirts when he was down in the dumps at Ferrari. And the fan shouted out, "Lewis, remember who you are." And then Lewis went to an interview later and he said, "A fan told me to remember who I am." And then even later on he was "I still remember that." And it
yeah, that's actually the key message he came across with.
And I think it actually must have affected him quite a lot.
Yeah.
And really stuck with him, which is kind of cool.
So I'm flicking through I cannot find the name of the 4 people he spoke to, but I mean, head of car design, CEO, president, and team principal. I mean,
that's everybody.
Yeah, and he's done
matters.
things like broken the stranglehold of Brembo and...
Yeah. And even like, oh, you'll have the race engineer that we decide is best for you.
Yeah. It's...
Anyway.
Yeah, Antonelli retired on lap 61, and I did hear a report, I think maybe from Antonelli himself, saying he was overdriving the car, and he was pushing too hard.
He was wearing it out.
Yeah, which I don't know if it's possible on these cars, but if you're saying they're a bit fragile, and like Russell is a bit smoother.
But he also had his own DNF in Canada, but that was when he was properly under pressure from Antonelli.
Yeah.
When they fight each other, I think they don't think straight.
Yeah, but I think the engine maybe can't cope.
Oh yeah, also a weird thing. Alexander Albon pitted.
Oh yeah.
Then he went back out like 5, 6, 7 laps later. So what happened at the end of the race is, first of all, I don't know why Behrman retired. Now that I think about it, Antonelli Leclerc retired, but they were classified because they retired 4 laps from the end.
Yep.
And Alex Albon took the checkered flag, but he was 11 laps down, so he was not classified because he didn't reach the required race distance, even though he finished.
It's just weird, isn't it? I mean, teams like Williams are like, we'll pit you for 11 laps, but we need the testing.
Yeah, we might as well get some extra data. It's just the fact that there's a difference between what being classified means and actually taking the checkered flag.
Yeah, you'd think if you took the checkered flag...
They're not mutually exclusive. You can do one without the other.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we see someone finish but not be classified.
Yeah, I think Aston Martin have done weird races where they've just...
They've a couple testing sessions.
Yeah.
So yeah, all British podium. Bit of a weird sort of lonely race for Verstappen and Piastri.
Yeah.
And even Hadjar got lapped.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, he wheel spun and he just struggled.
But also, I think, I don't know if it's just because the cars are so good compared to the midfield, but he's clawed his way back up to 6th in the end.
Yeah, he had none of the F1.5 in front of him. I mean, 6th, you had Antonelli and Leclerc retiring, so the top 8...
So he's the bottom of the top 8, which is where you'd sort of expect with such a poor start.
Yeah.
Gasly once again in the points.
Yeah.
Kind of quietly the king of the midfield.
I mean, he is actually a very capable driver.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if...
He's won a race.
But I'm surprised... I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the radar of one of the big teams if there's an opening.
I'm not sure who, though. Who would take it? Because I don't think... Unless Laurent Mekies is very diplomatic, I don't think Red Bull... I don't think he'd want to go back to Red Bull.
No. Although...
Maybe McLaren if one of Norris or Piastri get fed up, but I don't know where they'd go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the endless Toto Wolff wishes he had Verstappen rumours.
Yeah, he might wish that, but who's he going to get rid of?
Yeah, and also, whoever he got rid of, would he want a driver who will not yield and will not listen to team orders?
Yeah, I mean, if you think Russell versus Antonelli is bad, try Verstappen versus Russell.
Or Verstappen versus Antonelli.
I think Verstappen-Russell, you'd have no cars finishing any of the races. And they already get on each other's nerves outside of the track.
Yeah, you couldn't put them in the same team. And then we had Lindblad. Oh, Lawson and Lindblad double points for Racing Bulls. Lawson again is
They seem to be pretty decent, both of them, actually.
Lawson's really recovered.
Yeah, from the sort of epic fails he had at Red Bull.
Oh, being the battering he took, I think. And
He only had 2 races, which is very unfair on him, I feel like.
Yeah, and Colapinto, so it's double points for Alpine.
So really it's RB versus Alpine for P5 in the championship.
Yeah, I'm just going to look now. Yeah. Well, Alpine are on 57 with 1 podium now, and RB are on 41.
Oh, my spreadsheet's wrong. Why is my spreadsheet wrong?
Because Gasly was really 3rd.
No, I changed that. I've got more points for Gasly than he should. I've got more points for Alpine than they should have.
Oh,
whatever, I'll change it later.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that puts Hamilton squarely into 2nd.
I mean, big day for Russell to recover a bit of ground on Antonelli.
He's still 50 points behind Antonelli, which is quite a mountain to climb.
But we now have kind of seen that Antonelli is fallible, because even before he broke down, he was only third. He was fighting for second.
Mm.
He wasn't running away with it.
I thought he got past...
I think he did.
He got past Russell and then his engine blew up, I think.
Pretty much the instant he did. But I don't think that battle would have been over.
Mm.
And also, it's the first time a non-Mercedes driver has finished ahead of Antonelli, I think.
Yeah.
Given that Hamilton actually beat him on pure pace, which again is quite significant for the season.
I mean, they are saying that Austria won't be as exciting. That Austria needs a lot of power and Ferrari won't be as close.
But Austria is quite a laugh of a track anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so the standings are now Antonelli, Hamilton, Russell. And then Leclerc is a distant 40 points back?
Where's the results? Driver standings on the big
Yeah,
screen.
Leclerc is 40 points back from Hamilton.
Leclerc's miles off, yeah. Because, again, one unlucky DNF against Hamilton's win swings it massively in Hamilton's favour.
Yeah, but it has just been gradually... I mean, again, like you say, Leclerc might be just sitting there looking and going, oh...
Actually, it's a fourth and 2 DNFs in a row for Leclerc versus 2 seconds and a first.
Yeah.
So hang on, we can do that maths. What is a fourth place? 12 points?
Yeah.
Versus 36 plus 25?
41.
So So he's gained 39 points on him across 3 races?
Yeah.
It's a massive leap.
And I think now we're kind of coming to the end of the first third of the season.
Yeah, because there's 22 races
Oh,
provisionally.
yeah. So we've had about a third of the season, give or take. We're starting to actually get it shaking out now.
But it looks like there's been a bit of a shift with Ferrari getting it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Leclerc was only 2 points ahead of Norris now.
And he's not far ahead of Piastri.
No, considering all his bad luck, Piastri's... I mean, people are saying, oh, Piastri's having a really bad season, but he's 5 points behind his teammate. I mean, that's
I think once he had that little... Piastri had those 2 little podiums once he got the car working.
Yeah.
I think 2 DNSs. What happened? Oh, the strategy disaster in Canada.
Yeah.
That's 3 whole races worth of points that were not actually his fault that he missed out on.
Yeah.
And then Monaco's Monaco. 5th place in Spain, but there's nothing to be discouraged about if you're Piastri.
Especially if Max is down in 7th.
Yeah. Not actually a million miles ahead of Gasly, according to my calculation. Oh no, my spreadsheet is right. Gasly's got 41 points.
Yeah.
Colapinto's got 16. Why does my spreadsheet say Colapinto has 19? I'll figure that out later.
Yeah. It's, So yeah, that was...
Oh... Colapinto got a 10-second penalty for failing to slow for yellow flags.
In Monaco?
No, in Spain.
Oh.
So that drops him 2 places, which down to 10th, which perfectly matches up my discrepancy.
Excellent.
Also, Antonelli got a 5-second penalty. Actually, a bit of an interesting one, because he got a 5-second penalty for leaving the track without justification.
Yep.
But they applied it after he DNF'd. But if he'd finished the race, that would have messed around with the podium and been a bit of like a what if. And if Mercedes had known ahead of time, would they have told Antonelli to yield because there was no point?
Or would Antonelli have put the hammer down and tried to get 5 seconds ahead of
I don't
Russell?
think he could have got 5 seconds ahead of Russell.
Well, no, not if Russell knew that second place was... Does the penalty now evaporate because he DNF'd, or does he...
I don't actually know.
It's one of those weird questions, isn't it?
I think he might get a grid drop.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? So yeah, that was Barcelona. We had...
Quite a laugh of a race in the end.
Well, Lewis's first win in nearly 2 years.
That's
All
always
British
good to
podium. Lord only knows how many records broken and amended, and obviously Lewis Hamilton beat Lewis Hamilton's record for the most ever race wins.
Yeah.
Also, the only driver to win a race after 300 starts. Which is kind of not fair, because I think only Alonso has done 300 race starts.
Oh no, a bunch of them have.
Oh, Barrichello.
Alonso's the only one who's done 400. But I think Barrichello and Raikkonen, even Button got up to 300. But if you remember, at this point in like Barrichello and Button's careers, they were sort of messing around at like backmarker teams, really, like Maconda, which was terrible.
Arrows and
Yeah.
Jordan and...
Even like Raikkonen had gone off to the farm at Sauber.
Yeah.
Whereas Hamilton hasn't actually phoned it in at all. He's kind of got a renewed passion for it, which is pretty ridiculous, actually.
Yeah.
Even more so than Alonso.
Yeah, I think Alonso is getting fed up of having backmarker machinery.
It's kind of a curse of his. Like, I feel like as soon as he leaves Aston Martin, they'll suddenly get the Newey unlocked and just...
Who would you replace? Oh, if the team... Oh, that could be the big change.
So if Alonso retires, there is then a hole in the F1 driver market which has to be filled by a rookie, fundamentally.
But if they unlock the Newey... I mean, really, the problem with the Aston Martin is the Honda.
Yeah. Do a little bit of silly season chat, I guess.
But if they get the engine working right and get the engine upgrades and unlock the Adrian Newey design...
It could be pretty good.
But then you could see, like, you know, people like, I don't know, Piastri or even Hadjar wanting to jump ship. Or like we said, Gasly is massive. Gasly or Leclerc. Actually, no, Leclerc's just signed up a much longer term contract, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And everybody was wondering why, because he signed that, I think, at the beginning of the race weekend in Barcelona.
And then he binned it.
But he's also now seen the potential of what that Ferrari is capable of.
And he's also, I think, seen what Hamilton's done to the organisation.
Yeah.
And he might be kind of like wanting to hang around for a bit to see what he can get out of it.
Well, he's much younger.
Yeah, he could spend the next 10 years at Ferrari feasibly.
Yeah. He can, in a way, he can kind of wait for Hamilton to work his magic and make the team a winning team and then...
take off a bit.
Yeah.
A bit like what Raikkonen did for Ferrari last time out.
Yeah.
Back in 2007.
So, yeah, Austria coming up. Like I say, Ferrari aren't expected to be good. But...
They weren't in Barcelona, really?
Yeah, I mean, all bets are off, really.
I mean, it's Hamilton. He could basically do anything.
But then again, Mercedes are always strong. McLaren's are starting to get their act together.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
and in terms,
McLaren on the podium.
And also, supposedly the Red Bulls have the most raw power from the ICE. And if it's a power track, which it is, Austria,
Yeah.
it's basically like 3 corners.
There actually was a track that was 3 corners.
Yeah, it's just like a big triangle.
It's the one outside
Ramge.
Oh, and there's one in Berlin.
We want to go there one day.
There's one in Berlin that was just basically 2 roundabouts and dual carriageway.
I've not spelled that right.
Anyway, we are rambling.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Good race.
Yeah, we've got
Austria
coming up, and then the British Grand Prix.
Yeah. Which, if Hamilton doesn't win, God knows.
But then if Hamilton does win the British, it'll be like...
I think that's 10 home victories for him.
Yeah, it'll just be rewriting the record books again.
He just... even winning a race at this late in his career at that level is just rewriting the history books.
And for a new team.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been Graham Miller, the father, and this is Toby Miller.
Yeah.
I write mystery books as Graham H. Miller, and Toby is official Tibby with his YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk to you after the Austrian Grand Prix when, as we said, anything could have happened.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Stop.